Alright, so in this video we're going to have a look at how to simulate IK controls, because so far we've only been concerned with FK controls. And if you remember, I can select these FK controls in order, and then I can work my way out this hierarchy here, and I can do the same thing on the other side. But the legs are different. We can't simply assign markers onto the controls themselves, because the character is indirectly controlled by these controllers. If I move this foot control, for example, we're translating, but the character is actually just rotating the legs. So although we can assign markers to the pole vector and to the foot control, let me show you what that looks like, because it doesn't really translate into physics, because they're not parent and child. So I'll try and do it sort of the spontaneous way of selecting the hip, pole vector, and then foot. If I assign a group to that, we'll get something very nonsensical. What we expect is for the upper leg and lower leg and foot to be marked, to be assigned, so we can track those. But now we're tracking the position and orientation of FK controls, and it doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. So if I just undo that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to find the joints that are inside of this character, the joints that are driven by the IK controls, and we're going to capture those instead. And where to find these joints will obviously differ in every rig. In this case, they happen to be right here, and they're called blend joint. The important thing for you is to just have a look at which joints are moving when you move the IK controls. So when I move these controls here, I can see that these joints here are the ones that are affected by my IK controls. Those are the ones that I want to capture. I want to track these joints with my physics markers. So like before, I'm going to select the hip, and then this first joint, next joint, next joint. And I'm going to do just like a regular assign group on that. And already we can see that now we're getting the behavior that we expect. Now the markers are following the joints, even though we're actually moving these IK controls. I'll do the same thing for the other side. And there we go, so now we're done. So now our physics character will be tracking, and let me put the solver to the side so we can see what's going on here. I'll make the ground a bit bigger as well in case he falls over. There we go. So now we have an IK character driving a physics hierarchy.